Hello class, this is Trent Speck and I'm talking about AEP 873, module number 18, Google and why it is needed. So to examine Google, we're going to look at its motto, which is to organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. So my idea today is to sell you on the idea of Google and why it is needed in the education atmosphere. So here's my standards. I had ISTE Standard Educators 3A, so to create experiences for learners to make positive, socially responsible contributions and exhibit empathetic behavior online that builds relationships and community. So I think it's important where Google gives us a chance of taking our learning outside of these school walls and really expanding not only to maybe our local community but to our bigger community, and that's what Google has done. So there's different websites and apps that are used to make that possible. So the next one is ISTE Standard Educator 5A, use technology to create, adapt, and personalize learning experiences that foster independent learning and accommodate learner differences and needs. This is important for me because not all students learn the same way. The biggest thing for me is that technology is a tool to be used to reach those students. It's not the focal point. When it becomes a focal point, you're learning the meaning of what you're trying to learn. But it is a great tool to use to make sure that students are learning to their potential. So let's go on. So why go Google? So there's so many different reasons why Google is the number one for emails and everything else when it comes to schools, but it's free and has a lot of storage. It doesn't have, you can buy more storage, but you don't need it. Probably 85% of the students that come through, or 90% probably, even higher than that, won't use all of their free storage. So the capability of having more storage, you can use it, but there's a big chance you won't need it. So put it on any device, whether it's tablets, phones, Chromebooks, laptops, desktops. I've been at one school for my teaching career. Next year I'm actually changing, but we had laptops, I believe, my first full year, so a year and a half, because I started that semester. And then the last 3 years we've had Chromebooks, and these are awesome. I think they're definitely the right way to go because they're cheap, they're versatile, everything else, etc. So why else go Google? So there's different apps, add-ons, and extensions available, and I'm going to talk about a couple of them and why they're useful. And the last reason, it keeps updating and becoming better. Google's philosophy is just to keep growing and keep extending and make sure education is used for is accessible throughout the world. So the first one is Google Docs. This is a lot like Microsoft Word. It's compatible with My Drive. So My Drive is where all your storage is stored. Any app that you've used. So Google Forms, Google Docs, etc. It's all stored into My Drive. And then from there you can it's like a flash drive. You can move it around and keep it how you want it. You can store the files through folders and etc. So next is easy to share. So I can share this Microsoft Word with anybody and they can edit it also, which means collaborate all on one doc. So if I'm changing something, they can be changing something. It shows up as soon as or a second later, So the last thing is saves to your drive and can be accessed anywhere. So with Google, if I sign out of my email on this laptop that I'm using right now and I go to a different laptop and I give my Google password, all of a sudden I can access anything that I've done. So that's a major surplus. I don't know how to use a flash drive, I don't know how to change a hard drive, etc. It's right there. The next one is slides, which is a lot like Microsoft PowerPoint. Same thing, the number one reason is collaboration. So if I give an assignment on the 1990s and we're talking about I can have 3 different students work on the same assignment or on the same PowerPoint slides, where one is working on maybe the president and who the presidents were during this time frame. Some are talking about the fashion, some are talking about the food, and they can all be changing these different slides and put it together to make a big slide or presentation. So that is awesome. Themes and fanciness is adequate for use. You don't get as many opportunities for themes, but you don't really need it. I mean, it has enough. So that's actually what I'm using right here. A lot like Google Docs, it saves to my drive, and it's easy to use. It's simple. So Google Sheets is awesome. It's a lot like Microsoft Excel that people are familiar with. Easy to use. Has all your basic formulas that you need. It has sum, difference, average, etc. Now, it doesn't have all your bells and whistles like Microsoft Excel that dives deeper and has a lot more formulas, but for the average person or average student, you're not going to use that. Now, if you're in accounting, you might have to use Microsoft Excel because it's easier. But for the average person that's using Excel in the average classroom, you're not going to need all the bells and whistles. And then it works great with Flubaroo. So I'll talk about that actually on the next slide, which gives us stats. Okay, so Google Forms. So Google Forms is a great way to ask questions. It's like a test given online or quiz. So I can make short answers, I can make paragraph form, I can make multiple choice, selection, etc. So it's a great way to get data organized and information from asking questions. The biggest thing I like it for is this right here. It's compatible with Google Sheets. They're all intertwined, where if I take Google Forms and I have 10 students in the classroom and they fill out this quiz and they send it back to me, etc., I can take all that data, move it to Google Sheets, and then I can use an extension or an add-on called Flubaroo, and it will grade it for me. I can make like a test answer where everything is read off of Mr. Specs, which is me, and then it will give the right answers for which one. So if they they answered A on this one, and I answered A, it will show up correct. If they answer C, and I answered A, it will show up incorrect, and it will give all that data through it. So it saves so much time when it comes to grading, and gives an opportunity to see what students missed what questions. So if the class missed or were under 60% on a question, I can go back and say, hey, I didn't teach that, or I didn't teach this very good, or I worded it wrong, or etc. I can look at that. But really good to use and a great opportunity. Nothing is compatible with this when it comes to Microsoft Office. Google Calendar, yeah, I know different website, Outlook and Hotmail has calendars now, and but Google Calendar, I mean, like I said, it's all intertwined, so I can share my calendar, with another person, and I can see what they're doing that day. This is how we run our school, kind of, is we can see when the principal is going to be gone, we can see what sporting events are that day, we can see what is during homeroom, which is our last class of the day. That's when all the meetings are for in our high school. So really awesome. This is what separates Google and everything else, is all these extras. I mean, yeah, Microsoft Word and Google Docs are very comparable in most aspects, but when it comes down to it, this is the extras that make the difference. You know, Google Meet is like Skype. You know, Google Community. That's an awesome group where I can, and that's what this class is based on, is Google Community, where I can join a community and see what is happening within that community. And it's a great way to stay connected with people. And I wanted to do Google Community for my personal finance class, but I didn't have the opportunity because it was blocked, and I couldn't get it passed to where we could use it for my class, because it would be open up to everyone, and they didn't think that the freshmen could handle it like the seniors could. So, and then the last thing is Google YouTube. You know, posting stuff on YouTube gives us the opportunity for people to follow. I actually have like 10 students following me that they Googled my name or something, or I was talking about my YouTube channel in class one day, and they decided to follow me, and so shout out to them. But this is a great way to keep stuff updated, etc. So why go Google? All these reasons are why we use Google. I mean, it's free and convenient. It is sharing the collaboration. The collaboration's huge. Everyone can change it. So all the different apps. I mean, there are hundreds, maybe thousands of apps on there that I don't have enough time to talk about, but are great for learning. So everything saves. I mean, you don't have to worry about it being saved. As long as you have internet connection, it will save. Now, you can do offline editing, but you have to be careful if it's saved or not. So accessible anywhere you have internet or connection, meaning phone. Did I mention free? It is simple. Simplicity, sometimes in this world, goes a long ways. It's always updating and becoming better. This is important for me. Easy to keep organized with My Drive and folders, and offline editing. So go Google. It is changing the education world as we know it. Thanks again for this class. Hope all is well.